So in this lecture, we will study about what are networks, what are types of networks, what are different fundamentals of network. So we will learn each and everything about networks in this course. So in today's lecture, that is the first lecture of this course, we will understand the basic concept of networking. Like it will include the installing or configuring or troubleshooting a network. Then we will understand about routing technologies. We will understand about networking devices like wireless, or it can be the cloud connectivity. Okay. So these are the things that we are going to discuss today. So the very first thing that is the crucial and the important part of computer networking is the OSI model and TCP/IP. So we will talk about these two things in today's lecture. So in networking, when we transfer the data from one place to another place, the data is transferred from these layers. These layers are responsible for transferring the data packet from one place to another. We will discuss each and every model one by one. We have two kinds of source. The first one is the TCP/IP and the second one is the OSI node. So what is OSI node? It contains the 7 layers. So we will understand these 7 layers in this lecture. So the layering starts from descending order. We start from the 7th layer to the first layer. I'll explain this with the help of example. For example, you want to, let's suppose, you want to search something on Google. So what you will do? An interface will be appear in front of you. So this is your PC. This is a UI. Yeah, means the universal interface, user interface in front of you. And this is the user. So you will enter the query here on your display screen to the user. So the first layer of this model is the application layer, means where the user interface or network services are available, means this layer. The first layer that is presented in front of you is due to the application. Application layer is responsible for presenting the user interface to the user, where you are going to enter your query. Then at the second point, after the application layer, at the back end, we have another layer that is the presentation layer. So here, the presentation layer is presented at the back. So when you enter the query, what the presentation layer will do, it will format the data into a specific format, or it will encrypt the data to protect the data from any unauthorized access or from the hackers. Now, how the encryption is done, like let's suppose it will change you enter a query, what is a computer? So maybe the computer networks are designed in such a way that they think anything that is searched by the user is their privacy, and we have to protect their privacy. So your query is converted into another form, like it will rearrange the arrangement of the alphabets into another order. Then with the help of an encryption key, it will send to the next packet. So what the encryption will do, it will convert the form of your data. So the 6th layer is responsible for data formatting and encryption. Then after the presentation layer, we have another layer at the back. That is the session layer. Now, what is the session layer? Many times when you are browsing something, and if it takes too long, a message is displayed on the screen, session expired. So session layer is responsible for managing that sessions on the internet. That if the user takes too long to process a query, or it takes too long to download something or upload something, then it will show whether the session will expire or it will restart. So after the session layer, we have the transport layer. Okay. So this transport layer, the data packet come from presentation layer to the session layer, from session layer to the transport layer. So this transport layer will be responsible for transporting the data from to the network, whether to another device or somewhere else. Okay. The transport layer will be responsible for doing. Then after the transport layer, we have the network layer. Okay. The network layer will be responsible for the networks, means the addressing scheme. The routing means which route the data packet is going to take. So all of these things will be done by the network layer. Then the second layer is the data link layer. Now the data link layer is responsible for the communication of the data. Like let's suppose you want to send this data to the server. Then the responses will, this is the server where your query answer is present, and the server is connected with the database somewhere. So the database layer is responsible for communicating your query with the server. And at the end, we have the physical layer here that will connect the final to your query. So in this way, your data is traveled on the net. UI that would be responsible for giving the response and getting the response back from the server. We have the presentation layer that is responsible for encrypting your data to protecting your data. We have the session layer that is responsible for managing the time of user on the internet. If the session takes too long, it will expire and then the user have to reload to start a new session. Then we have the transport layer that is responsible for the flow control or data transport. After that, the third layer is the network layer that is responsible for routing, for addressing, how the data or the memory addresses are taken. Then we have the data link layer for the error detection and for the communication to the server. And the first one is the physical, where your medium is connected or the server is placed. So these are the 7 layers of OSI model. So through which the information is transferred or the data is transferred. So if you have any question, then let me know. Then we will move towards the next.
When the data is
Yes.
transporting to the server, it's returning some value, right?
Yes. Then the responses will come back to the data link layer. Let's suppose, for example, you want to search what is a computer. That query, that question will first come here to the presentation layer. This will encrypt it. If this will manage the sessions, it will transport your data to the somewhere else. Which network it is going to take, which data is going to take, will be managed by this network layer. This data link layer will communicate your query with the server, where the responses are generated. And at this physical medium, your server will be placed. Okay. Let's suppose your query will go here on the physical layer. Okay. What is computer? It will give the answer back to the data link layer, to this network layer. Then your answer will be travel here, then here, then here, and finally it will be displayed on your computer screen with the help of the presentation layer. So this is how your data travels over the internet. Anything else?
Thank you.
So we will discuss this in detail. This is just the overview. Now, we have another model that is the TCP IP model. So it contains now the 4 layers. So TCP stands for Transport Control Protocol over Internet Protocol. Okay, this layer, this model is responsible for transferring your data over the internet. It contains 4 layers: the application, the transport, the internet, and the network access. You know about the application layer that is responsible for presenting your data or for the UI. I told you about the transport layer that is responsible for transmitting the data flow control over the internet. Third was the internet layer that will responsible for managing the internet connection. And the fourth one will be the network access, how your data will be accessed from the other networks. So this is just the general overview. Now let's discuss how these things are related with each other. See, this is the first image that I show you. So these models work parallel with each other. So you know that in OSI model, we discussed 3 layers: the application layer, the presentation layer, the session layer. These three combined will become the application layer of the TCP/IP. Rest of the things will remain same. Then at the end, we discuss the data link layer and the physical layer. Both of them becomes the network access layer in this model. So you can say that this model is merging the layers of the OSI model. Okay, this is very important in networking. Why we are learning these models? Because these models tells how our data is transmitted from one place to another place over the internet, from which layers the data travels and how it is transformed or converted. Okay, so now let's discuss each and every detail layer in this. So the first layer that we discussed was the application layer. So what is the purpose of the application layer? I have already told you about it. It will provide you the network service application. Like you can browse it, you can check your email clients and everything about that. This is the main purpose of your application layer. Then we have some common protocols. What are protocols? Let me tell you about. Protocols are the rules of the internet that you must have to follow. Right? So the first one was the application layer, means it will provide you the network services like you can browse the internet, you can check the email clients email, everything. Now I was telling you about protocols. Just like each and every organization have set of rules. Like if you join an educational institute, you have to follow some certain set of rules. You have to follow a uniform code. You have to follow some timetable. Everything means you have some rules in order to study in school or any educational institute. Similarly, when you are doing some activities on internet, whether you are sending the data, whether you are browsing something, internet have some rules. Okay, how to access the data, how to browse that data. That rules are known as the protocols. Okay, now each and every layer have some protocol, have some rules. Now I told you about the purpose of application. It's just the UI. It will display the responses that are coming from the other layers. So we have some common protocols. We have the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So if you remember, whenever you try to browse something on the internet, before the name of the website, the HTTPS is written. Why? Because it is the protocol that will allow you to browse something on web. I told you that protocols are the rules. So in order to browse something, you have to use this protocol, HTTPS. Then we have the second type of protocol that is also available on internet, like on this application layer, that is the FTP protocol, means the file transfer protocol. Like when you want to transfer a file from a system to a network or you want to email something, then the protocol that is followed is the FTP. Then if you want to send emails or messages, then these are the three protocols. SMTP, Smart Message Transport Protocol, IMAP, Instant Messaging Application Protocol. Then third protocol is DNS, Domain Name Resolution. Now, before this networking, before this domain name system, protocols have the numbers. Website used to have the numbers. They don't have a specific name. Like nowadays, we used to give a specific name to a website. Before this naming system, each website have a number. So it was very hard to remember that numbers. It was very difficult. So that's why this domain name resolution was key, that each website can have its own name with the help of DNS. DNS will allow you to name your website. Then if you want to get the remote access, like for example, I am working here with my system. I want to access your system. So if I want to do that, then it is known as the telnet or remote access. All of these common protocols are governed or given by this application. So if you have any question, let me know.
Hypertext transfer protocol is used for
Web browser.
interpreting markup language, right? For the visuals.
For web browse, like you want to browse something, you want to search something on internet. So if you remember, you can also do practically write unspecific name of a website you want to search. You can see that HTTP will be written there. So you can say in short, like it is used for mainly web browse. Like if you want to browse something, you want to search something, then we follow this protocol. Then we have the file transfer, like if you want to send a file from one computer to another computer over the internet, like you mail some files from one place to another place, that will follows the file transfer protocol. You want to send an email, then these three protocols are used. You want to give a specific name to your website, then you will follow the DNS. You want to access someone's else PC, then you will follow the telnet. So these are the some of the common protocols that are provided by the application. So these are some common protocols, means these are the numbers, each port numbers that each protocol have. What are the port numbers? Each and every protocol have a specific port number where they can connect. So these are the some port numbers, like for HTTP, you can use 80. For HTTPS, 443 is used. For FTP, 21 is used. So these are all the port numbers for each and every site. So which devices can use this protocol? We have the computers, we have the smartphones, web servers can use these protocols, mail servers can use this protocol. So this is the first layer, the seventh layer of the TCP/IP suite, the application. And these are the common protocols that the application layer is going to use. Then the second layer is the presentation layer, sixth layer of OSI layer. I told you about the presentation layer that it will convert the format of your data. Like it will translate your data into another form. So you can handle the encryptions, you can check out for compressions, anything. Then the presentation layer is going to be responsible for that. Okay. So then what this protocol will do? So if you are aware of GitHub, so if you have used GitHub sometime, so two layers are used, two protocols are used here, SSL or TLS. What it will do, like for example, you want to, let's suppose you are a web developer and you have created a website. Now you have to transfer your website from your computer to the server so that it can be visible to everyone. But you have some insecurities. What if I am transferring my website from local server to main server? May some hacker can access your code and can use them for illegal purpose. Maybe something else can happen. So you want to ensure that my data is transferring securely. So SSL and TLS, what will do? They will encrypt your data for file transfer, for HTTPS. Like whenever you will transport your data, for example, here, let's suppose this is your main server over the internet, and you have developed your website here on your PC. So you want to transfer your website here on the internet. But there are some problems. Maybe some hacker can attack here in the midway and can break the connection and can do something. I told you what the presentation layer will do. Presentation layer will encrypt your website. It will convert your data into another form so that it can securely transport. So what the SSL will do? SSL will create a secure tunnel like VPN. Maybe you will be aware about VPN, virtual private network. So it will create a secure tunnel like this, uh, like like this, a secure tunnel will be created and your website can be easily traveled from your system to another system. Whenever someone tries to access your website, they will see a boundary, a tunnel, which they cannot access. So this is what the presentation layer will do. It will encrypt your data, compress your data so that your data can be secured from an unauthorized access. Okay. The devices that can used is the end user devices. It can be the applications. So mainly it can handle within the applications, not outside the services devices. So the fifth layer, that is the session layer. So what the session layer will do? Session layer will manage your sessions, means your connections. I told you that this layer is going to manage your connections, how you are going to connect with the internet or services, like your connection with the server. Like if you want to browse something, then this can be your computer and this can be your server. For how much long your server can be connected to this, your computer can be connected to this. So this connection is managed by this session. So if you remember, if your query take too long or it takes too much time, then a message is displayed, a session is expired, kindly come back or reload, something like that message is available there or displayed on your screen. So the session layer is responsible for managing your sessions. Then after that, we have the transport layer. Okay. What the transport layer will do? It will ensure your complete data transfer. Okay. Like if there can be any error during the transformation, the transport layer will ensure that error recovery. It will control your flow of your system. So that is the transport layer, and the protocols that it is going to follow is the transmission control protocol. It can be user datagram protocol, like it can be fast, it can be connectionless. The ports that it delivers is the 443. So these are some ports that are connected there. And the devices that are the routers, they are the firewalls. So transport layer in short is used for managing your connections. After that, we have the network layer. Okay. What is the purpose of the network layer? To route the data packets between your devices and the networks. So I told you, in short, you can understand it as just to transport your packets. Like, for example, to on internet, your data is transformed in the form of packets, not like this that the complete data is sent. Let's suppose you want to transport your data from this computer to this computer. So in the form of packets like this, your data is transported. So there are some routes, like your data can be transported from here, here, here. There are different routes. Which route your data packet will take, it depends upon this network layer. Network layer will manage the route from where your data packet is going to be sent and received. Then I told you about the last two layers. I told you about the data link layer, means to transfer your data between one device on another on the same network. The data link layer is used. Your MAC address, Ethernet is responsible for that. So that was your network layer, data link layer. And at the end, I told you the physical transmission, the cables that are available there. That is your physical layer. Means till now, virtually or logically, everything was done. But physically, when you transfer your data through wires at the end, that is your means your data is traveled all over the internet and then it reached to the cable. And this cable will transport physically data to another node. So these are the 7 layers of OSI model. And this is how the data is traveled over the internet from one place to another place. Okay. So if you remember till now, I used the word port everywhere. So what is that? What is the meaning of port? So you can say that port are the virtual endpoints that can be used for managing the multiple networks conversion on one device. Like it can allows the different application services to communicate. Like you can identify which application or services incoming data is for. So you can understand port as the virtual endpoint for managing the multiple networks. So the port 80 tells the system to send the data to the web browser. Port 25 will tells that we have to send a message. It will directly send data to the mail sending services. So this is the port. So these are the 7 layers. If I summarize everything here, these are the protocols, data used. These are the devices and their port usage. And this is the things we have studied till now. These are the 7 layers. These are the protocols and their port numbers that we have studied till yet. Okay, so till now we have discussed the TCP/IP network suite. We have discussed the OSI layers that are very important in computer networks. You can say that this is the foundation of the computer networks that tells us how data is traveled over the internet. The last thing that we have to discuss today is the routers and switches. So before learning about routers and switches, you can understand it here. This is a router and this is a switch. And these are, you can say, your devices that are connected. Now let's understand what is a router and what is a switch. So you can say that a switch is a networking device that can connect multiple devices. Like it can be computers, it can be printers. Now, if you remember, in educational institutes, we have computer labs. All the computers are connected with each other with the same network. They form a specific small network that we used to call that LAN. So what is the basic purpose of the switch? The switch will connect multiple devices like this. So this is a switch. Multiple devices are connected with this. Then how it works? Now, if a device sends a data, what it will do? Each and every system has its machine address. Like for example, like the place where you live, you have an address that this is my address, I live here. Similarly, each and every machine have its own MAC address, means the machine address code. So when let's suppose when this system sends a data to this switch, the switch will read its machine address. Then what the switch will do? After reading the machine address, it checks its internal table to see which port to its destination device. Like whether it want to send this to a message, it's a file transfer protocol or what else. Then it will forward that message to their specific network. Like for example, the device wants to send the data to this device. It will not directly send the data to this. It will send data to the switch. Switch will read the data, will identify whether the system wants to send here, here or here. It will then send the data to here, depending upon the usage. So this is how the switches work. Then mostly The switches are used in offices. The switches are used in schools. Switches are used in homes. If you want to connect computers, you want to connect printers, access point, you can use them. So what are the key features? Like you can operate it at OSI layers. Some advanced switches also work at layer 3. They are very faster. So we were discussing about switches. What are switches? Switches are used to connect multiple computers and to make the data transformation between them with the help of their MAC-address. Then the last thing that we have to discuss is the routers. So what are routers? Routers are used to connect different networks together, like a local area to the internet. It uses the IP address. Uh, you can take it as the Wi-Fi routers that are available at your houses that enables your local computers to connect with the internet. So you can say that it's a Wi-Fi router that will enables you to connect your systems with the internet. So this is the basic purpose of the routers. Okay. So how it works when a packet needs to go outside the computer or LAN, the router will read the IP address. Means a computer have two addresses: a MAC address that is its machine address, and the address through which it connects with the computer that is called the IP address. So when a packet needs to go out the LAN, the router will read where it wants to go. So it will determine. Yes, it's a new subject, computer principles of network that we are studying today. I think you haven't joined the first session. That's why you don't know about it. So I'll give an overview of this. Let me finish it. Each and every computer have two addresses. It's have the IP address and the MAC address. MAC address is machine on address, and IP address is the address through which it connects itself to the internet. It is used for internet connectivity. Whenever the data needs to go out to the local system, means you want to send your data to another system over the internet. The router will read your IP address and send it to the another computer. So let me give you the overview of this course. So the name of this course is Principle of Networks. So in this course, we will understand the network technologies, how to use, what are the terminologies. And in today's lecture, we have discussed what is networking concepts, how we can install, configure, and troubleshoot. We have discussed the routing technologies, whether they are wireless or they are cloud connectivity. And then I teach you about the OSI models, the TCP/IP model, the 7 layers of OSI model we have discussed. Okay. And then after that, we discuss routing and switches.